Hey, how's it going, guys? DOndrai Jones here. I want to give you guys some common errors that I find when doing parkour precisions. I see it all the time, especially with my students whenever they're trying to learn the precision and they can't seem to either stick the pre, or they just feel like they have bad form and everything seems kind of shaky. It's not a solid stick and a solid landing whenever they're doing precisions. And a lot of times it might just be your takeoff, it might just be your landing, or it might just be something small that you're not doing that you wouldn't really know unless someone told you. But I'm here to tell you today. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is just having proper form whenever you're doing a precision. And the first thing I teach students is to have your feet together. Now, you don't have to have them touching. I prefer to have them touching, but you want them relatively close. So if your feet are like really far apart, you know, it's one foot could probably make it and the other foot might not make it. And like if your feet aren't like in unison together, it's better if you're gonna like undershoot a precision to have both your feet miss than to have one foot make it and one foot not make it, because you could slip out on that one foot and like kind of fall, and very weird things can happen. So just to be safe, you know, I'd rather just have my students keep their feet together. It helps them out a lot, and it'll help you out as well. You'll be a lot more accurate whenever you're landing your precisions. The next one's the arm swing. I see a lot of weird stuff with arm swings, and it's kind of a simple thing people think about whenever they're jumping, but a lot of people do it wrong. I've seen students jump with their arms behind them, which is kind of weird. And then I've also seen a lot of people, this is like the most common with new people, besides swinging their arms, they kind of like punch their arms forward, like throw their arms forward, like they're pushing somebody, and think that helps. And what you really want to do, you want to keep your arms virtually locked out. They want to go the full extension behind your back, and then whenever you're about to jump, you want to swing them forward with your arms still locked. And the weight of your arms, sometimes I even tell my students make a fist. You can feel the weight of your fist help propel you forward along with your jump, and it'll help you get more distance, and it just looks a lot cleaner. The next one I want to go over is landing on the edge of obstacles. Now, this is a very common thing, even for, you know, some intermediate practitioners. You want to treat every single obstacle that you're precisioning to as if it was a rail. So even if you have a bunch of surface to land on, you don't just want to land on the whole surface. You always want to strive for excellence and strive to land perfectly. It'll just help that if the surface is larger, you have a little bit more room for error. In case you mess up or something doesn't go well, you'll still have more surface to land on. But you want to treat everything as if it was a rail. You want to be landing on the ball of your foot on the edge of the object with your heel hanging off at all times. The next one, spreading your knees apart. I see this quite often, and I used to do it as well. Whenever you keep your feet together, you kind of tend to develop the habit of jumping with your knees together and landing with your knees together. You don't want to do that, and I'm not necessarily saying have your knees spread wide apart, but kind of traveling like a comfortable path away from each other. So they want to be spreading outward instead of going inward and touching each other. You can like hit your knees together, and that hurts pretty bad, trust me. And then also you could develop like things like knee valgus with like knee tracking issues with your knee tracking inward instead of, you know, it following like a comfortable path going outward for each other. And then you can also develop your glutes and your hip flexors to get into that squat. You can get to a deeper squat in a wider stance than you can in a narrow stance. So you want to make sure that you're working on that, and that you're also keeping your knees spread apart. The next one I want to talk about is specifically the landing. The first one being having your legs extend forward whenever you're landing, and then you're keeping your back in a neutral position. So a lot of people, they're either leaning too far back or they're leaning too far forward whenever they're landing. You want your legs to be the first thing that makes contact with the obstacle. So your legs are going to be extended in front of you rather than anywhere else. So you want your legs extending in front of you so they can impact that surface, and then followed by your chest and the rest of your body to help balance you out on the edge of the obstacle. The next thing I want to talk about is just landing too high. Now, this is very possible as well. So a lot of people, they land really high, and what that causes them to do, whenever their knees are extended, whenever their legs are extended, their chest is also overextended. So it leaves their glutes back here, and whenever you land, all that weight is just going forward. So you see a lot of people, they'll land it and then they'll take a step forward. So if you're doing that quite often, like you land the precision and you take a step forward, you have to hop off in front of the obstacle from where you were trying to jump to, then you're probably having that problem. You want to keep your chest neutral, keep your legs extended, so that way your legs make the impact first, and then when your knees collapse, your chest can hang over and you can balance perfectly on top of the obstacle. So that's a really, really important one. And then the last one I want to go over is striding. So it doesn't really matter too much if you're just doing like a single stride, but I'm talking about striding into a precision. So going from one obstacle, striding to another one, and then landing in a precision like a running pre. A lot of times I see people, they are going too high with the stride, so it's hard to transfer your momentum forward. A stride is to help it's like a bigger step running, like run, if that makes any sense. So besides like the usual running stance, you're kind of taking, you know, really long leaps and strides, but you're still like in the running type of motion. And the only way you're going to propel yourself forward is to kind of keep yourself low with the obstacle. So you want to be able to keep yourself, you know, as low as possible whenever you're going to the next obstacle. If you're going too high, all of your weight's going to come down on top of whatever you're landing on, and you won't be able to transfer it again, especially for upward precisions. You won't be able to transfer it again upward, or transfer it well going straight into another precision. So if you want, you know, more accurate strides, more powerful strides, and even longer strides, you want to work on making keeping your body center of gravity low to the ground when you're transitioning between the strides, so you can continue to gain speed and get the proper power that you would need to transfer into the precision. And then last but not least, I've kind of already touched on this with your arm swing, but with strides, use your arms, you know, carry both your arms together, you know, run, make sure you're really utilizing your arm, you're getting those powerful arm swings. That's going to help propel you even faster and make yourself even more powerful. So it's going to be really good and really something that you want to work on while you're working on strides. I hope this helped out a lot. I try to keep these videos short, especially these talking videos. I know it can get, you know, a little bit boring just hearing me speak the whole time. So I try to keep them short and give you the key tips that you would need, you know, to succeed in whatever endeavor that you try to do while doing parkour. But if you enjoyed the video, please let me know down below if you enjoyed the video. Like it, comment below what you want to see in the next few tutorials. I have some lined up, but I always need more comments. So comment below what you want to see in another tutorial, and also share with other people. That helps me out a lot. That helps my channel grow, and it'll help me spread to other people so everyone can get the proper knowledge that they need so they can train effectively and train safe. But take care, be safe, catch you in the next video. See you later. Check the link in the description for a crash course on parkour. Let's go.